Hey guys, this is Allison Angeles with the Silicon Sanctuary podcast. I'm talking today on the topic of self-esteem and self-worth. And I don't know, these are just catch-all phrases. And I think, okay, let me explain why they're catch-all phrases. First off, I feel that if you think about it, everyone out there is on a, whether they know it or not, is on a mission to love themselves, to feel good inside themselves, to feel worthy, to feel joy, and to feel like they're, contributing and that other people see them and that other people know that they're what they know about themselves, that they're worthy and they're great and they're extraordinary and they're talented. And I think that's why the social media platform is so prominent right now, because everybody wants to be seen and everyone wants to be affirmed for what they're naturally, for their natural worth. Okay, so there's so much worthiness out there. There's so much talent out there. And, in the past, only a few selected people before there was social media got to get the accolades of, the world's affirmation. And those were people that were, on television because they're, movie stars or they're, professional athletes or musicians, rock stars, whatever you want to say, and then they got to be seen. And now with social media, everyone gets to be seen, no matter what your talent or content is. People want to be understood, heard, loved, affirmed, and that's all a part of their self-esteem. Okay, so let's talk about that. So everybody's on this quest, whether or not they know it or not, for those things, for the feeling of loving yourself. Okay, so when you love yourself, you're in alignment with love and abundance, and you feel great. And everybody daily is on this quest to feel that feeling, right? And it can be very elusive. So let's talk about how to make it so it's prominent every day for the rest of your life, all day, every day for the rest of your life. And don't laugh, because it is possible. So let's talk about, and I haven't read up on anybody else's ideas about this, but these are my own knowing and my own ideas from being, connected to source and doing decades of work on self-awareness with a lot of prominent wisdom teachers, not limited to Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, Tony Robbins, Ram Dass, and Wayne Dyer, and others. So, and others that are local that I haven't mentioned: Dr. Craig Schindler, Ryan Francis, Educate for Life, Troy Bunnell, and others. Okay, so self-worth you're born with. Self-worth you're worthy just for being in this form, in body. So everybody that's out there, you don't have to, it's an illusion to think that you have to achieve worthiness, or that you have to create it, or that you have to acquire it. You're already worthy. You are disconnected from knowing what your worth is through the experiences that you've had leading up to this point. So what's happened is, through your childhood, through fear and lack of the environmental effects of others, your um, your parents of origin or your caregivers, and the extended environment, school, etc., you've been programmed to, or conditioned actually, to feel the effects of other people's fear and lack, either conscious or unconsciously, that they're projecting or injecting on you, and that starts to erode your self worth. having compassion for others, because everybody's sort of bought into this, not sort of, but has, not everybody, but many people have bought into this program, the Matrix program of what creates worthiness for us: beauty, physical fitness, excellent grades, money, material things, you know, education, cars, where you went to school, where you live, what your house looks like, etc. These are all what we have been programmed to associate with worth. But the truth of the matter is, you're worthy just by existence, okay? So there's a purpose for you being here, and there's talent in you, and there's gifts and treasure that are beyond measure that no one else has the ability to contribute, because no one else is you, okay? And that's just a fact. And that might sound woohoo, but it's a real thing. So self-worth is inherent in each and every one of us and in you. Okay, so self-esteem to me is it's kind of this proving. It's the proving of well, actually, when you really think about it, it's the alignment with what your worthiness already is. So, um, for example, if you've naturally talented at a certain thing, and then you do that thing, whether it's singing or dancing or mathematics or programming or talking, being a inspirational leader. When you get feedback from the external world that that's of value, then that you put that little chunk of information into your box of self-esteem, which is, again, the illusion of proving your self-worth. So that creates this egoic feeling of relief that you are indeed, have some value. And that's okay. That's good. But we can't sustain ourselves through the validation of the external world and the validation of just the external, because it's not in our control, right? It's not. No matter, how amazing you can be, there will be for every fan, there will be a critic. So going back to connecting to the knowing of your self-worth and developing your gifts, developing what brings you joy and inspires you, that connects to others, that can bring them joy and inspire them as well. So that's really the place where you want to align with your self-worth. It already exists. You're already worthy. So don't get it backwards. It's a sort of a ninja move thing where it's don't feel that you have to do and become something that you've designed in your head in order to be worthy. You're already in that space. Now just enjoy the process of discovering your talents and your gifts. And then be aware when you're really tied in to how you need the affirmation of others, because you don't need the affirmation of others. You please observe it from a state of the observer and feel feelings of joy about it for contributing, but also be very aware if it's becoming something that you need, because then it becomes something that is detrimental. So self-worth, self-esteem, you already contain your self-worth. Enjoy the process of excavating your higher self, your avatar. Enjoy the process of discovering your purpose or purposes. It could be many things that you do to contribute. I can talk in detail about those, but I think that you already know what I mean. If you love to dance, hip hop dance, and maybe you teach hip hop dance, and that brings you great joy, and you teach children, that's great. And if you need to, have other talents that you're great at that you want to add to those as well. You can have many, many different things. You can also do one thing that's creative and one thing that is more serving, and less creative, that provides abundance, or you can put them both together, or you can have multiple things. So back to self-worth, it's a knowing. Okay, you're worthy. Just know that you're worthy as you are, and then you can write lists of your designs of what you want to develop that's already great about you, and enjoy that process, and work with the law of deliberately creating these things. Use the law of attraction, use the law of allowing and receiving, and don't depend on the affirmation of others. Be very aware when you're connecting to that. That's that's it for that notion today. I'm Allison Angeles, your host for the Silicon Sanctuary podcast, also YouTube channel Allison Angeles, and Instagram. Feel free to write any comments below, and if you have anything directly that you want to talk about, I have endless topics on that will come up, and I'm looking forward to the next podcast. Listen up. Thanks.